Hello, we are back in the shack. I got the Zephyr out the door and the Bug in here. So today we're going to make some progress on that. It's been quite a while, the Bug, you know. There's a million things to do, but something was bothering me about this door frame. Just sitting here looking at it again. And when I did the fabrication the first time, we had a result, but it wasn't the best result. So I'm going to compare these two sides and we're going to do some remedies. I really want to get this roof put on, and I'm having a few concerns, mainly the mismatch in the door jamb shape. So let's discuss. Yeah, got the Bug pulled out. Got on these little dollies for the wheels, and it is a huge asset. The floor in here is really nice, so it rolls around just fine. We got that tail end mocked up. There's clamps and some bandages on it. But let's look at this line here, right? Coming up over the top and down. This door is not fit in. There's no latches yet. So you see that that's all just loose. Probably a good kick ought to remedy that. But the shape, that's what I'm getting at. You might be able to see it in this orientation. Again, I'm looking at this right here. See how it has like a nice, kind of a lazy curve over the top. Has some suspension, I think the design would call it. You know, artists and such. It's been said that my designs lack suspension. See how the roof is curving down, seemingly, even though it's curving up. It doesn't have that tension. All these art terms, right? I'm going to pull the camera down and let's look at this. Let's compare it to the other side. Boom, right there. You see that? The shadow side, it's coming down. There's a low spot right there. It doesn't have that kind of arch shape. Let's compare once again. Bringing it up. Boom, right there, right above that red leaf blower. See leaf blower? Right there. There's our problem. Let's take it over to the other side. How's that? Pretty descriptive. It's actually where those two pieces meet. Yep. So what are we gonna do about that? I think this tube is very straight. And I think this tube, when I curved it, it was a little past its apex. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut that, I'm gonna remove that. We're gonna make a nice, graceful arch right over the top. I'm gonna keep this video pretty short and to the point, because my back hurts. Whoosh. When I was down in the desert, it was a rough night. It was hot out. 3 dogs in a house with no bed, just a couch. One little room has an air conditioner. So I think I'm gonna sleep out on the porch. We got a nice king size mattress we put out on the porch when we're clearing out the house. Me and 3 dogs, right? Oh no. All night long, the barking, the chasing, the coyotes, the animals, and then knuckleheads with fireworks. It was crazy. So at about 3 a.m., I gave up and I went into the one room in the house with air conditioning, you know, just a portable unit, and I threw a blanket on the floor and slept there till about 6 a.m. My hips are killing me. Full disclosure. I'm gonna be sitting a while. I'm gonna be making a tube. We're gonna get this Bug looking a little bit better. I'm gonna go back and relax. I'm gonna get in here first and take all these tack welds out. Use my tooth puller on this. Let's see if that won't just come out. Oh yeah, it's totally loose. I don't even need to use that. It's that good. Got a little weld hanging up over here. Come on. Don't be fussy. It's one of the reasons I love just skipping back and forth on projects, because I take this very, very personally. does get a bit emotional. So yeah, it's important for me to take time off and revisit this so that it comes out as good as I can make it. So look at this, right? You see this here? We're trying to find where this thing is pointing upwards still. And I think it's right about here. Let's just cut this out. I'm gonna change to the larger disc, because when I mentioned earlier the apex, I could actually see the tool, the wheel on the roller was hitting right here. So that's why this is perfectly straight. There's no more seemingly upward curve. It flattens out. So let's get in there and cut that off right on the tool mark. It's a little bit further than I just described. It's actually on this side of the weld. So let's cut that out. I think at this point in the project, I was being hasty. I was just trying to make something happen. And I'll get into this part next after I cut that tube out. It's important to not be hasty. You know, if you're sweeping a floor, okay, you can move it along. This is sculpture. It takes time. Yeah, right there. See how that thing shook? There's a lot of tension in there. I'm gonna take this right off. Get this out of the way. I don't really know what's going on in here. Been a while. You know, I'm gonna take this whole mess right out of here. There's an inner structure, there's an outer structure. Yeah, so I got the tube set in there. Aha! Alright, cool. That's hot. Yeah. So now this is like ramping up. It's a lot better. And then we still have this metal here. Clean the inside of that. And this is definitely dropping also. But there's nothing attached back here. So I think I'm gonna put some tension in this and just try to bring that up. I used to have a little bottle jack. That would be perfect. I wonder if I can't just take the crowbar and push up on it. Let me get some gloves. I do have a porta-power buried around here somewhere, but I don't think it's gonna be that strong. I'm just looking for like a pinpoint of pressure. See, look at that, it just worked. That's all it was. I was rushing through this, I know it, and that had drooped and I welded it. Now we're gonna create a curve. This crowbar is straight. See, we don't want a straight shot. We want a nice gradual arch. I'm gonna take this tube over there, see if we got a match in diameter and put on that roller. Victor brought a lot of cool metal. Look at that, it's a perfect match. It's actually curved. Wait, what? Oh, it's just one end. I might have some more curved steel over here. It's not a piece of this car. I think it was an experiment. Is there something laying inside? Only sheet metal. This is a good piece. I'm going to keep it with this car. Let's just make it fresh. We got 1, 2, we need about 3 hands wide. Here's where we really learn about square footage in the new shop. I think we can get this. Could have gotten pretty spoiled back at the spaceport. There was so much room, but I was walking all over the place all day. So he said 3 hands. 1, 2, 3. So we only need to roll it to about here. Put a mark on that. Yeah, let's put a curve in this. And this is just going to be a pretty mellow curve. Because we want it to have, I was saying suspension. I mean to say tension. There's got to be some tension in the design. So putting this flat on the table, pretty significant rise. Let's check that out on the car. Yeah, so, you know, we had our machine working on this much of it. That's what I was describing. You always end up with this length of straight tube. Look at that. That's a nice graceful curve. I like it. So let's just cheat a little bit more into that. Yeah, totally cool. Let's hit it there and there. We'll insert it. Left a little bit long, because that's how I like to set up joins. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna nip this a little bit instead of the tube because this is easier. Yeah. Like a glove. All right, let's get that welder. I'm gonna put 2 tacks and then compare it to the other side. There's just a bunch of cuts over there that I passed through with the grinder a few times, so I was filling those up. All right, let's take a look. It still looks flat to me. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Well, standing back, maybe I like it. I don't know what's bothering me. What is it? I think it's looking at the white of the fiberglass that's bothering me. And now if we're comparing it, that other side, you know, the lens is a little bit fish-eyed, but it appears like for some reason this window looks like it gets big and then tapers down. I got an idea. Let me measure both sides here to there. Symmetry is a huge issue. I'm struggling that with little Jules headlights right now. So we're about 8 1/8. Yeah, setting this in the same spot. It's like 8 1/4. So it's a 1/4 inch difference. That's pretty big side to side. You see how the front of the opposite side, it just appears a 1/4 inch. Could it make that much difference? It does. It just looks. Look at this shadow, the shadow line under there. That's a 1/4 inch off. That's all it is. Let's cut that other side. Just like I trimmed out all these tack welds, I'm going to do the same here. And I'm just going to move this up 1/4 inch. As I push that up, this little gap will close and we should be good to go. Little refinements. I got that tooken off. I could hit it with a hammer, really shake things up. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the engine hoist and I'm gonna lift straight up on that. All right, let's put this in here. Try to lift this up, bend it into shape. I'm looking. Almost too easy. All right, let's drop it down a little bit. That moved up. And let me tell you, there's a lot of stress in there right now, which means it's very strong. I think we can go a little bit more. We're looking for the 8 1/4 mark. Yeah, we got it. It's 8 1/4 all day long. Yeah, that helps. I'm gonna push that just once more because I like to live on the edge. Yeah, that totally worked. All right, so what's a new one for you and for me too? Engine hoist bodywork experience. Hydraulic power. Yeah, totally cool. That's just another thing to think about, you know? There's a million ways to go about stuff, but I needed something portable, mobile, with a lot of strength. That's why it's called an engine hoist. I crack myself up. All right. So looking at this close up now, you could see, you know, the spot weld where this used to be attached. It's a good 1/4 inch up. So I'm gonna cut through this with the disc, start reattaching. Every time I walk by this car, it's been bothering the heck out of me. So I'm really glad to just deal with this. All right, I'm gonna weld under here, so as that shrinks, we'll put some upward pressure. All right, clean this up a little, put a piece of sheet metal in there. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. Anytime when I'm coming down to where it meets the other panel, you'll see I blow a hole through it because it melts the sheet metal away and I'm able to hit the tube inside, so it just makes for a really solid join. I'll just hit this first, close it up, and then vertical down like this will fill this in easily, using the last bead for support. Now I'm coming up to the tube that's beneath and I'll push it in. And weld all three pieces together. Cool. Slit that with the discs. I'll put a little more action up here. Oops, that's hollow. And get that structurally together. There we go. This is also a really important structure in the roof line too, because only fiberglass is attaching to it. I think where we're gonna go for today is just a montage. I'm gonna weld all this up. I'm gonna weld all through here, grind it out, and that's where it sits for now. And I'll say a couple things about the way that I'm putting this together. All of these cuts and this big mashed together design with these brutal welds over the top, this wouldn't be a metal finish car, obviously. This cap is going to get extensively modified in fiberglass and draped down into here. This being ground out at a hard, 25 grit disc is going to give the adhesion of the materials I'm going to use to put this together. I got no problem with the way that this is coming together up here. bet right about now Jamie's got some awesome music playing, doing the weld montage. And the car looks like it used to be green at one point. All right, this is looking really raw because it is. But it's getting somewhere, little by little. I think that's gonna do it for right this minute. We achieved a very better looking window opening, and it's all welded up strong. So next time we'll do some more. See you then.